cricket fans who have been waiting for a rerun of India versus Australia in the World Cup, here is the moment for all of you. We, of course, don't know whether the match happens in St. Lucia tonight or not because there are predictions of shower, but well, it is India taking on Australia, and a lot of fans writing to us on social media saying that they would like to forget the memories of 19th of November. Abhishek, Australia, well, I have two of my esteemed guests with me, former India cricketer Abhishek Nair and former Test cricketer Ashok Malhotra. Let me get across to you, Abhishek. Australia has their backs to the wall. It's never a good place to be. Do you think it is possible that India knocks Australia out of the World Cup even before reaching the semi-final?
Well, Australia back to the wall is not something that's new. We've seen that before. We've seen that in the World Cup as well when they won it. So they are used to that position. They're used to coming back. But can India knock them out? Definitely. I think the way India is playing, we know that especially when India is playing against Australian conditions where the spinners come into play, India is always a dominant team, which is why I feel India is going to have the upper hand. Although St. Lucia has produced decent scores, I still feel the kind of form that India is in currently, they come in as favourites.
Ashok, would you say India come in as favourites in this match against Australia just because Australia has dropped that one match against Afghanistan?
India is favourite for the World Cup. Forget about this game. But the fact is, you can't take them. They are a strong team, and they are like wounded lions. They can be dangerous. Because for them it is do or die. If they lose to India, they're out of the World Cup. So they don't want to do that. On the other side, India would want to defeat them in this game, and so they don't have to meet them in the knockout stage. So it is for India a win-win situation. So I think somewhere along the line, it is going to be a tough game. Rain or no rain, whatever, 5 overs, 10 overs, whatever game that takes place, it'll be a tough game. But India has always a stubborn team. They are probably the best side in the paper because Australia, when you talk, Mitchell Marsh has not scored a run. You can't depend on Stoinis and Maxwell to bail you out. Every time Travis Head and Warner are not going to bail you out. So I think they are a bit weak in the batting. And the bowling, if you're depending on Maxwell to bowl those quota of 4 overs, then you're asking for trouble.
Abhishek, put on your coach's hat and tell me today, the fact that there are rain predictions, would Australia want this match to be rained out, get 1 point and hope for Bangladesh to defeat Afghanistan? Would they want to be in that situation?
Well, I think any good team doesn't want to depend on luck. They want to play the game. You rather lose the game and get out of the tournament than not play the game and then be knocked out because you didn't have the opportunity to compete. So I always believe top teams would love to compete, would love to get those points. Even from India's point of view, I'm very sure that India would want to play this game, beat Australia psychologically before they enter the semi-finals, and then if they face them in the finals, have the upper hand mentally. So I'm very sure that both teams will want to get on the park, even if that means it's a shortened game, but get onto the park and play some cricket.
Ashok, we are talking about, a match that could potentially be rain affected. Either way, would you say that, 20 over game, rain affected, and if it is curtailed, it is unfortunate for both sides, for either sides? I mean, if Australia is to get knocked out in a shortened version of T20 game, that is terribly unfair, and we should have had a reserve day.
See, I don't know whether the ICC has the time for these kind of things, because a reserve day surely for the finals or the semi-finals you can have, but for the league games probably they will not. But the fact is, somewhere along the line, I think Australia has world champions luck on their side, so I don't think it's going to be rained off. Maybe 10 overs, maybe 5 overs. Some game will definitely be played.
We are also joined by former India cricketer Ritendra Singh Sodhi, and we are still discussing as to who's favourite going into the game. Would like to know your take as well.
Rika, it has to be India because India has been playing top-notch cricket. And talking about Australia, it is not the Australia of past times when we had Ricky Ponting, Warnies, and Jason Gillespie's, Bretleys. This is a team, which has some good players, some experienced players, but some players who are still struggling to find form, still struggling to make their place in the team, to cement their place in the side. And that is where India can have an upper edge. And the way they have lost against Afghanistan, look, it can be one off day, but that will always play on your mind that you have lost against Afghanistan, the way Pakistan lost that first game. So yes, if top teams are beaten by the teams who learns from them actually, then it will play on your mind. And in that respect, India has a big advantage.
Abhishek, in terms of intimidation, the intimidation factor, which team would you rate higher, India or Australia?
I think India's always intimidating. I think any team in the world, when they play against India, you are intimidated. You've heard a lot of commentators and specialists say that, India can literally have 3 teams play the World Cup and they'll still be competitive. That just tells you the aura around India, the talent around India, and the skill sets now that the Indians possess. So I feel any Indian team that you play, whether that be South Africa, Australia, they would know that they are playing against highly skilled players who can beat them on the day. So this current Indian team, they'll definitely be intimidated, fearful, but also aware that it's still a T20 and any team can win on that given day. So I think Australia would be intimidated, but they wouldn't enter the game being intimidated.
Ashok, I would like to hear you on this. Which team has a higher intimidating factor?
See, in India, the way they play cricket, any side can be intimidated. But not to forget who are the world champions. We are not the world champions since 2011.
But we are the number one team.
We always play like world champions. But one odd game, the real game, we get knocked out. That is where the problem is. And Australia knows how to win from a lost cause. That is their strength. That's why they're the world champion. So I think you are a little bit intimidated when you're playing against a world champion. They are the world champions. I understand India is a strong side. India is a match-winning side. And as the Indians, we always think they are the world champions. But they are the world champions. But they don't play like the world champions when the real thing starts, when the knockout starts. That is our undoing. Otherwise, we are a champion side. I've got no doubt in my mind, being an Indian, that we will put it through Australia. But be careful about Australia because they are the world champions.
Okay, Ritinder, let me ask you, from the last match to this match, of course, it's against one of the most, most talked about opponents that Australia will have in the entire tournament, India. What kind of rewiring do you think they need to do, having lost against the Minnows, which, must have come as a big shock to them?
Look, Rika, it's not easy because you never expect that you will lose these sort of games of being Australia, the world champions. But then again, it is cricket, game of glorious uncertainties. Anything can happen. But yes, it had happened. And now I'm sure that Australia, they have it in them. They know how to make a comeback. And just one very important factor, if you talk about the last finals, which we lost against Australia when they became world champions, India were the hot favorites. Nobody was talking about Australia. It was India, India, India all the way. We were getting crazy that World Cup is ours. But in those hours, Australia came back and won the game. And in those first 25 to 30 minutes when that final started, they were fielding first. Australia had already saved around 15 to 20 runs, diving around, Labuchan diving around. So that is what Australia is all about. When they fight, they really fight. And that is where India has to be on their toes. Yes, India has an advantage, but you can't be complacent at all.
Also, Abhishek, talking about the scheduling of this World Cup, I mean, of course, we are in this day and age of T20 cricket. In IPL, we have seen teams play, travel, play. But should that be a scenario in World Cups as well? Because pretty much most of the teams are playing 3 matches in 5 days. And Australia would have played this match 34 to 38 hours after the last match, not even like a full 2-day gap.
See, we are also playing a T20, Rika, so you need to keep in mind that it is a shortened game. It is a 4-hour game. It's no longer a 6-hour or a 4-day, 5-day game. So I believe that in a T20 game, you have enough time to recover, even if you have to play one every alternate day with a bit of travel, because the travel time is not a lot. It's only an hour and a half flight. So from that point of view, I don't think it's it's something that can't be done. As professionals, we are sort of used to it, because you do that in the IPL, you do that when you're playing bilateral series as well. So I think from that point of view, I believe that it's fine if you have back-to-back games. The fans actually enjoy it because you're in tune and there is a sync to watching your team and following your team. So I feel the benefits of doing that. Yes, sometimes the players pay the price for it, but that's okay. Players are happy as long as the fans are happy.
Ashok, since we're expecting rain, tell us a little bit about what you think the side winning the toss should be doing.
I think winning the toss put the other side. Although it is a knockout game, if it was a normal day, I would have said bat first, put runs on the board, and the kind of wickets in West Indies, you can check them. Somewhere along the line, because of the rain. If rain is in the air, if it rains, then I think DLS is a better thing to win the toss and put the other side in, and hope you can control the DLS, which is uncontrollable anyway.
Yeah. What about you, Ritendra? What do you think? What should the side winning the toss should do?
Same as what Choki Paji said. I think we have to put them in if it rains and it's a shortened game. And again, look, Rika, we have been talking about our batsmen, Rohit, Virat, Surya Kumar, Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant. But again, whatever we have won in this World Cup so far, the work has been done by our fast bowlers and spinners, Bumrah and Arshdeep. They are in a crazy form, hot right form, where they can create havoc among the batsmen. And that is where India can score against Australia if we are fielding first. That new ball will play a very important role. If it rains, we might see ball doing a bit. And with Bumrah firing all cylinders, it won't be an easy life for Australian batsmen.
Abhishek, I would really like to ask you about playing cricket in West Indies. We have traditionally talked about West Indies for its great fast bowlers. A generation of fast bowlers in 70s and in 80s we have seen. Now that you see Jasprit Bumrah bowling on West Indian pitches, and those pitches are no longer there, do you feel a little wistful that, Bumrah being one of the best bowlers of the generation are not getting the kind of assistance that a Wes Hall or a Charlie Griffith or, Curtly Ambrose and the likes would get?
Well, just imagine if he got a bit of assistance. He's already going at an economy of 3. He's picking up wickets in every game. So I don't think Jasprit Bumrah needs assistance. I believe that the tougher the conditions, and the conditions have been, I feel, in a different way, it has assisted fast bowlers because it's been slowish, but it's not been easy for the batters. But I honestly believe Bumrah is such a bowler that assistance or no assistance, you make him bowl like we saw on concrete, he's still going to be effective. The kind of skills he possesses, his thought process, his understanding of what the batter is going to do. You look at a fast bowler and you look at qualities you want as a fast bowler, he bowls at 140 clicks. He can bowl the Yorker. He bowls a bouncer that is faster than his Yorker. He hits the backer for length like it's a joke. And he bowls a slow one that no one else can pick. So he's got all the qualities you want as a fast bowler. He's a complete bowler, and with that, he's got a brain of a chess player. So we're lucky. We've lucked out with our Jasprit Bumrah, and like Ashok Paji once said, we should treasure him because he is a national treasure for us.
Ritendra, I'll have to ask you about one delivery through which all bowlers get hit, that is full toss. Even Bumrah's full tosses at times seem unplayable. Why would you? And what is that trick that he brings to the table?
That's a very tough question, Rika, because I don't know what magic Bumrah have if his full tosses are also getting wickets. But yes, the way he bowls those Yorkers, firing in that toe crusher Yorkers, that's not easy. I've seen Ashish Nehra. We were on a tour to Zimbabwe. Our nets got over, and Ashish stayed at the ground for 1 hour, and he was just bowling Yorkers and to prepare for the coming game next morning against West Indies. And that is how the practice is done day in, day out. Ashoki Padi know, Abhishek knows this Yorker. You can bowl that in your mind, but when you have to bowl at a crucial time, when everything depends on that delivery, and Bumrah comes in every day and win the matches with those Yorkers. That is why he's so special. And yes, he is definitely a national treasure for us. Fingers crossed, he should not get injured. And I'm sure this World Cup, if we win, Bumrah is playing a very, very important role.
Well,
So Rika, I just want to add to your question. You know why no one hits his full toss? Because no one expects it. No one expects Bumrah to bowl a full toss. You're always expecting the best delivery. You're expecting a Yorker, a bouncer, slow one. Suddenly bowls a full toss, and you just feel you don't know what to do with it. So sometimes the uncertainty of the quality of a bowler also lets him get away with his poor balls.
Most of the Rika, most of the batters are worried about their toes. They're not looking at the low full tosses. They're worried about their toes. If the low full tosses surprised them.
And Rika, whenever I used to try to bowl Yorkers, and it used to misfire and become full toss, it used to go for a huge six in a different ground.
That actually explains what you said, Abhishek, the mind of a chess player. Also, another stat that I would like to talk about. Bumrah probably is a bowler in international circuit who has given his team the second most number of wickets after he has finished bowling an over. What I mean to say is, after Bumrah has bowled his over, the very next over has yielded wickets, and he is the second highest bowler to do so after Lasith Malinga. And there is a stat about that. Abhishek, could you explain how he intimidates batters, which then, even if he is not taking the wicket, he is setting up the batter for the next bowler to come in?
So Rika, if you're bowling 4 overs, giving 7 runs, 14 runs, and picking up 2 and 3 wickets, what's going to happen is the bowler at the other end is going to benefit. He's going to benefit because the batter is going to try and take him on. The batter is going to try and play high risk shots. The batter is going to try and do something he doesn't do because he's already under pressure. So they always say, like batting is in partnerships, bowling is also in partnerships, because if one bowler bowls well, the other bowler benefits. So sometimes, you just understand that Bumrah's impact, like you rightly said, is not only what about Bumrah does, but it's also what he does for an Arshdeep, what he does for a Siraj, what he does for a Jaddu or an Akshar Patel. He sets that up. And very similar to that is someone like a Kuldeep Yadav. So I feel Bumrah's greatness lies not only in what he does, but what he brings to the team overall.
And Rika, he reminds me of 80s when you used to play against West Indies. After those 4 bowlers used to go away, then Larry Gomes and Viv Ricketts used to come and pick up wickets, because the batsmen used to get a sigh of relief and go after them and lose the wickets. That is the kind of impact Bumrah makes on the modern day batters. That is what Abhishek said. He checks the flow of runs, he picks up wickets and puts pressure. And the moment he goes off, they feel, oh, here is the chance for us to get some runs, and that is how they lose the wicket. So he's very, very vital. He's very, very important in Team India's lineup. And as we said, he should be wrapped in cotton wool and carried, and his workload should be managed very, very properly.
Yeah,
and Rika, just to add on what Choki Paji said, I remember one of the game against Sri Lanka when Kalu Vitrana and Jayasurya used to smash every ball. And I remember 4 overs India were fielding. They were 60 for no loss, and they were going big, 6s and 6s. And then Harbhajan Singh, he was bowling so well that time. He came to bowl the 5th over, and Jayasurya played that over maiden. He never even, got his bat out. And that is what, planning was, to see Harbhajan through and go after other bowlers. And now I think even Bumrah, he's in that mode when all the batsmen want to see him through. Okay, let's not give him a wicket. Let's go after other bowlers. But now Arshdeep and other bowlers are also getting wicket. So where the batsmen will go, I think that is where India is getting all the points.
I love what Abhishek had said, isko khel lo, bakiyon ko pel do. Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
The batters in the dressing room say, and I'm loving this piece of conversation, decoding Jasprit Bumrah. We've spoken about him being a national treasure. Another national treasure we have to really talk about, maybe someone who mirrors Viv Richards, Virat Kohli. In Viv Richards' country, he hasn't really lit up the stadiums this time around. Ashok, I'll have to come to you and ask you, what really happened between IPL and the World Cup? Is it just the change of scene that Virat Kohli has been able to adjust to?
See, it is change of wickets. He has his methods in IPL, but now he is such a legendary player. He should be able to adjust to the wickets. If Rohit is going after hammer and tongs, let him go. He's the captain. He made his own rules. Your job should be to hang around for 20 overs. If Virat hangs for 20 overs, minimum he'll get 70-80. If he gets 70-80, we'll get close to 180, 190, maybe 200. But Virat has to be around. Around whom we have got Surya, we got Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, Shivam Dube, Akshar Patel, Ravindra Jadeja. It's a long batting lineup. So only thing I've been saying all the time, that he should hang around. He should play his normal game. He should build an innings instead of going hammer and tongs and trying to outscore Rohit, or maybe, I don't know, both of them have some kind of a game plan. 6 overs, even if you get 40 for no loss, still we'll get 200 runs, the way kind of hitter we have in our side.
Mm-hmm. Abhishek, talking about Virat Kohli in this World Cup, we are getting into the semi-finals, and then there will be the final of the tournament. Do you still feel that opening is a slot he should hang in, or we should allow for a young one like Yashasvi Jaiswal to come in and open with Rohit Sharma, and Virat comes down at number 3?
Like I say, don't try to fix something that's not broken. The Indian team's winning. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma just getting into their form. We've seen Virat Kohli have 2 decent knocks, back-to-back knocks. He's building towards it. So I wouldn't make any changes right now. Stick to what you have and keep it simple.
Okay, let me get in the X factors from both sides for all 3 of you tonight, and I'll start with Ritender. The X factor for you from the India side and from the Australia side as well.
Look, from India side, for me, it has to be Arshdeep Singh, because we have all talked about Bumrah. He's definitely one of the X factor, but the support Arshdeep is giving to Bumrah and to the bowling lineup, that is where all the batsmen are faltering if you talk about the opponents, and his spell will be key. Those 4 overs where he is moving the ball around. And for Australia, look, their bowling has to come good. They have lost a big game. So for them, everybody has to be X factor, because after losing against Afghanistan, it won't be an easy job for them.
Mm-hmm. Ashok, for you, the X factors from India and from...
See, I'm a die-hard Virat Kohli fan. I'll still go with Virat Kohli, whatever way, because as Abhishek is coming into the mood. I hope he will not do a harakiri what he did against Bangladesh. He was batting so well. I don't know why he had to do that. Anyway, but I'll go with Virat. He'll be the X factor. And when you talk about Team Australia, I think I'll go with Travis Head. If he gets going, then we are asking for trouble.
And he has been a thorn in India's flesh for a while now.
Absolutely.
Abhishek, for you, the 2 X factors.
Well, I think every time I think of Australia, the first batter that comes to my mind is Virat Kohli. So I'll go with Virat Kohli because he always ups his game against Australia whenever he's played against them. And for Australia, for me, it would be Adam Zampa. I think Zampa's got really good numbers versus India and does really well. So I feel he could pose a threat to the Indian batting lineup. So for me, these are the X factors.
Well, of course, we will wait to see if that match happens or not. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.